there, it's Lindsey here. We had a very busy weekend. We just got back. My lips are so chapped. We were at Grandma's and we were working on her pantry, which I'm about to show you. I didn't get a whole lot of montage footage or anything like that because I forgot to bring my tripod, of all things, and it's a 2-hour drive and I wasn't gonna go buy a tripod. But I did show you our progress along the way, and I think that it'll be fun and maybe it'll give you some pantry ideas if you need those, if you're building a pantry yourself. But we had so much fun, but it was really windy and I was outside cutting everything, so I got some chapped lips. and I got chapped face too, I think. A little wind burn on my face. But I think she absolutely loves her pantry, and it, to me, it's 10 million times better than it was. So let me just show you how it went. This room got updated flooring when we replaced the flooring a few months ago, but other than that, it hasn't been touched in over 20 years. My grandpa made all these shelves and they've held up okay, but the plywood's a little bit thin, and now it's just time to get something a little bit sturdier. So we started by removing everything out of the room, and then Jay did some tough demo on this room and took out the shelves. The shelves were attached with 3-inch framing nails, so it took him a while to get them out, and it didn't leave the walls in very good shape. So we just sanded down the walls best we could, and then Jay got to work filling those holes. While Jay was busy prepping the walls, I went ahead and started staining all of our boards for the shelves. I didn't want the smell to overwhelm her, so I wanted to go ahead and get all the paint and stain done the night before. That way all the stained wood could sit outside overnight and maybe wouldn't smell so bad. But I used the dark walnut stain to do this because it matches her table and it looked really pretty in the end. But we ended up using 2-inch boards. These are actually 2 by 8 by 10 because I could get 2 boards out of them. But look how much better this room is looking with a fresh coat of white paint. I just found some Oops paint for $9 at Lowe's. It was $9. It was a $40 can of paint, and it just took 1 coat to cover up all this yellow mess. Grandma calls it baby puke. So she was happy to see it go. The next day we were raring to get started, so I didn't film the majority of it, but these are those 2 by 8 boards. On this side we made 6 shelves, so we ended up making 6 shelves out of those using just those little L brackets. I do have a little bit to touch up, but I think they turned out really beautiful, and they're definitely not going to be doing any sagging. On the other side of the pantry, I wanted to make a little cabinet for her appliances. So I had Lowe's cut a 1/2-inch plywood strip into 3 strips, which were 16 inches wide, and I cut 2 of those to the width of the room, which was 52 inches, and then I cut 3 to 35 inches, and those were the middle supports, and we just put that together with pocket hole screws. And on top of those, I added more boards. This time I used 2 by 12s because we wanted them to be a little bit deeper on this. That way she could store different things, maybe some baking goods, her paper towels, just things that might be a little thicker and take up a little bit more space. Done with that, I got the baseboard installed. I added a piece of quarter round because it looked a lot better that way, and Jay installed this pegboard. First he screwed it onto 1 by 2 furring strips, just a couple of pieces, that's what the screw holes are, and then he screwed the whole thing into studs, so it is very, very sturdy. But just a quick reminder of what this room looked like before. now the after is drastically different. I think it looks so good. She was very pleased with it. I think it makes this room look so much bigger, even though it's a tiny space, since we went all the way up to the ceiling with the shelves, and she has a lot more storage space, even though we lost a whole wall of shelves. I do still have some organizing to do in here. That'll have to come another day, but for the base, I'd like to get a couple of baskets to hide some of the less pretty things, but this was mainly for all of her little appliances. And of course the countertop, we added a 1x2 furring strip to the front of it so it looked more like a countertop. And then she needs some labels for her baking goods, and I got to figure out something to do with all the spices. Maybe make her a little spice rack or something. And then Jay came up with a great idea for that little utensil holder, and it has some of her condiments in it, and then some extra pot storage up top. That stuff she doesn't use often, but she can easily get to it because she's pretty tall. And then on the other side, there's just space for all of her boxed goods, all of her cans, and nothing's gonna get shoved behind anything because these are shallower shelves. So that's kind of important that nothing gets shoved back. She loved that there was nothing on the floor and it was gonna be easy for her to sweep and mop, but we also found a place for her step stool to live so it doesn't float around the house like it does. And she loved that she can now easily get to her cast iron. I love spending time with my grandma, but it was nice to be home with the animals too. They don't like it when we leave them overnight, and it makes me nervous to leave them overnight. But they did just fine. Everybody was good when we got back home, even though we could tell they missed us a little bit. We also got a new freezer. There's nothing wrong with ours. It's still in good working condition and we're still going to keep it, but it is slam full. Like sometimes we can barely get the door closed. So we did order a new freezer. You know I've been wanting a stand-up freezer really bad, so Jay made it happen.
To get the biggest one you can find.
He was told. But y'all
So
look at this. Go stand over there. Jay is a very tall man.
Not really.
How tall? You're tall.
I'm 6 foot.
Look at this thing. I can fit Jay's body in there if I ever need to.
Yes, I'm coming like.
Oh my gosh.
Can I fit in there?
Yeah, we can both fit in there.
I think all four of us could fit in there. We had to lay it down to transport it, so I'm gonna have to let it sit for 24 hours before I can actually turn it on. And I think we're gonna switch some things around up here so it flows a little bit better because it's kind of like stuck in here. But yeah, it's huge. It's humongous. So I don't think we'll need a freezer for a really long time. We got the LG. Jay researched it and stuff, and he got this one that is rated to be outdoor, so it can handle like extreme temperatures, extreme heat, extreme cold. So he said that it's rated to from 10 degrees to 130 degrees. So we don't get down to 10 degrees here. So for us it works out just perfect. But I'm so excited because now I'll be able to make some freezer meals and I'll be able to easily see my things. I can't, my frozen fruit's like in the very bottom, and the kids want smoothies all the time, but I always say no because I can't reach the frozen fruit and I don't want to haul everything out of there to get to it. But anyway, so we've got food on the brain over here. We redid Grandma's pantry and I got a freezer, so I'm sure that I'll have some maybe freezer meal prep videos coming up. And maybe some, I do need to clean out my pantry, and because I've got a lot of bread and things that could go in the freezer, and my pantry needs a little more space. So I think that now that we have this humongous freezer, we're gonna move some things around. So I'll probably have some videos going on about that. You know, we like to have food out here for at least a couple months, and now we will easily be able to do that with this freezer. I'm super excited about it. I think it's gonna be a good thing. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in and show you my freezer at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed our transformation of Grandma's pantry. I know that she's gonna enjoy it. I love it. I enjoy it every time. She's like, well, this is so fancy, but you know, she goes in there and out of there at least 3 times a day. So I think that 3 times a day is enough to make something beautiful and enjoyable. So that's what we made it for her, and she loves it. So I'm happy that we could do that for her. And thank you, Jay, for all your hard work on my grandma's pantry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was an option?
What? No?
Oh.
That's your grandma too.
Why are you thanking me?
Grandma adopted Jay a long time ago. But if there's any freezer meals you would like to see, like desserts, breakfast specifically, lunches specifically, dinner specifically, let me know, because I'm gonna start researching those. I do have some that I used to do all the time, so I'm gonna pull those out of the old recipe book. But if there's any that you would actually like to see, any specifics, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to chat with you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.